I can't lie, babe. You've done it again. This is the single greatest sandwich I've ever eaten. Christopher, it's literally just a ham sandwich. Oh, I can't believe this is the greatest day of my life. Ah, this is why I'm leaving and taking the kids. Woo, all right, safe. Well, now time to sit down and watch the game.
Oyuna Philip Kenny girecek.
Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, current British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is under fire after being videoed in a car not wearing a seatbelt. It's a bold strategy, I can't lie, when the entirety of UK politics is a complete car crash anyway. All it takes is for one man who doesn't like him to be driving and... Now, he was on a journey somewhere and he was seen driving past some of the more war-torn areas of the country. He's breaking the law in plain sight, but hopefully he's got a safe driver on his hands. Wait, are you Joe Linton? Are you sure you're, like, gonna be okay to drive this car? Listen, yo, have I ever told you that I love you? On to the football, though, now, and we witnessed one of the games of the season as Arsenal took on Manchester United.
Oh, it's been nudged in! Nudged in by Eddie Nketiah!
The Gunners won 3-2 thanks to a late Eddie Nketiah goal, but this one was some serious Barclays Premier League hood classic stuff.
Heritage.
Marcus Rashford and Bukayo Saka both got on the score sheet with bangers, but after all of this, and Arsenal are still top. Bukayo even stole Marcus's celebration for his goal.
He copied my whole fucking flow!
Oh,
word for word, bar for bar!
Rest in peace to United's title charge. Gone, but not forgotten. Mikel Arteta was by the sidelines, animated as ever. He argues with everything, fam. If he's on the phone to customer service, it's lasting 5.5 hours. 5'1" king Lisandro Martinez scored a header. Obviously, there's copyright issues in terms of showing the goal, but I have an alternate angle here for you. The United signing Wout Weghorst was trying to give him tips before the set piece was taken. Aaron Ramsdale was distracted by his prime bottle as the corner came in.
I tell you what though, folks, that's bloody nice. That is bloody lovely.
But he got himself together to make some class saves later on. At the other end, and it wasn't such a great day for David De Gea.
Oh, jeezy pips, man.
His United teammate Anthony is stinking up the place again. They've spent £100 million on a Beyblade, boys. A record signing for F2 freestylers. This kid's got a battle on his hands, trying to go 4 minutes without a skill move.
Right, I'm gonna try this and it's not gonna be easy.
But into the 90th minute, with the game at 2-2, and Eddie Nketiah steps up.
It'd be heartbreaking if Arsenal were to win it. They're on the attack here. You can sod off meowing as well, you bloody...
Edward grabbed the first equaliser of the game in this one, and then the late winner to continue his great form. What phone call is the guy even getting at this point?
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the GOAT!
Gabriel Jesus will be returning to the bench now that Nketiah has become the greatest Premier League striker of all time.
Gosh, Clark, man's not even playing, you know. Mad thing.
Gary Neville's reaction in the gantry told the entire story, and he's been accused of bias on commentary duty, obviously as an ex-United legend. And to be honest, from his reaction, it seems like he's fine with not watching Arsenal win. But Arsenal had won here. Mikhailo Mudryk was depressed watching Zinchenko's Insta stories. Ben White was celebrating with the rest of the squad. Romeo Beckham is an Arsenal fan, and he got one over his dad David on Instagram. Meanwhile, there were joyous times in Uganda where a parade took place after the win amongst Arsenal fans. The only problem was it wasn't cleared by the council, so 8 people got arrested. Now, in a similarly titanic clash, 2 giants of English football in recent times faced off in what could only be described as another banger.
She's got all the hallmarks of an absolute classic underneath the floodlights.
In an absolutely shocking game of football, Chelsea and Liverpool played out a goalless draw in the battle of mid. Genuinely, 2 mid-table sides, I can't lie. Playground football is better. James Milner's come to this one in his plimsolls, and Mason Mount, as knowing him this season, probably forgot his PE kit.
Hit the ball by the valve, so what do you do? Top corner.
But it's like when two negatives come together in maths, it's meant to be a positive. But that was not the case here. We could have played till Wednesday and it would be still 0-0. No, well, actually no. To be fair, the quality of football here was Sunday League. Before the game, and Darwin Nunez was feeling confident on Twitter, but clearly not in his spelling. Missed chances, missed goals, misspell. This one was Jurgen Klopp's 1000th game as a manager. It wasn't a very memorable one, but as he reminded the media, it was better than Arsene Wenger's, where he lost 6-0.
Let's talk about 6, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about 6.
Seems a little harsh on the former Arsenal boss. He was confused watching on at home.
Why did I get picked up?
It's 1,000 games for Jurgen, but a first in blue for Mudryk, who came on late for his full Chelsea debut after his £100 million move. He's come on and absolutely terrorised us immediately. Namely, James Milner, who got put in an LG dishwasher by the Ukrainian. He's got to get himself together and prepare for the next time we face off against Chelsea. Very pacey, lightning quick feet, and very direct from the Ukrainian winger, unlike the rest of the Chelsea squad. Mason Mount had to sit him down when the kid actually tried to score a goal.
Don't fucking try any of that shit, because I've been here before.
Elsewhere in the team, Conor Gallagher will be on loose women in 3 years, I'm telling you now. Joao Felix is still feeling aggressive. He's suspended though, so he had to have a go at Alisson from the crowd. And it's not much better at Liverpool either. Cody Gakpo's not the same when he's not playing against NEC Nijmegen. Kakpa. Liverpool fans have simply had enough at this point. Meanwhile, at Chelsea, and their purchases are very different indeed. I've lost count of the amount of signings they've made. Graham Potter's next team talk is going to be outrageous. Meanwhile, after putting together 2 solid games, Jurgen Klopp will be delighted when Chelsea and Todd Boehly make a £127 million bid for youngster Stefan Bajcetic.
Easy money. Free money.
Now, at Everton, and we've got the most unsurprising news of the year so far, and that's that they've sacked Frank Lampard. Now look, I technically won El Sacaco, because I went first, get me? No, but for real, if anyone's got any jobs going. Frank knew his fate in the club toilets after the game.
Am I sacked? Should I go?
Poor Lampard, man. I mean, the side should have been doing better, but he had to put up with a lot of shocking footballers. Some absolute criminals in that dressing room. And they got rid of Gylfi Sigurdsson about 10 months ago. Everton fans have a little less sympathy than me.
He's been sacked.
What?
Frank's gone.
Oh, well, unlucky.
But some Everton fans were absolutely delighted at the news. Flipping X, shaking all over the place. Thanks, Pfizer. But Frankie Boy's already on his way to job centre as we speak. I can't wait for tensions to rise as him and Steven Gerrard go for the same Forest Green assistant fitness coach role. It does raise the question, though. Who will take over at Everton? Here's Steve Bruce approximately 4 minutes after hearing the news of his sacking. Marcelo Bielsa's apparently in the mix. Him and his translator have responded to Everton's offer.
Bueno, creo que las diferencias las podríamos haber reducido, pero el trámite del partido nunca lo pudimos. Un equipo más difícil de ganar, nunca tuvimos una sensación de dominio.
No. Current Lazio boss Maurizio Sarri's been linked to the vacant job as well. 2 games into taking the job and he'd already be stressed.
That bad, lad. I'm lighting a ciggy up now, hoping to get kicked out.
But let's be totally honest, they might as well go back in for Big Sam. Oh my days, they actually did. That was meant to be it. And just to add to the news for Toffees fans, the club is apparently up for sale now for £500 million, which I can only assume is a typo, and they meant £500. One prolific scorer of the past is out of the door this week, but another of the present is staying where they are, as Harry Kane is supposedly open to signing a new deal at Tottenham.
Oh, bro.
Harold, please, look, listen to me right now. I am a man who watches football. Okay, now that you know that I'm fully qualified on the topic, understand that you cannot sign another contract at Tottenham. Harry was asked why he was sticking around at Tottenham to try and win something there. This was his response.
We're balls deep anyway, we're in, you know what I mean? We was like, we got to do it, because otherwise I'm going to regret it as well.
He thought he was signing a Tottenham Real deal. It says the real deal, Harry. Just read, man. Daniel Levy was clever, slapping a £4.8 billion silverware clause in the deal, knowing that they won't win any. Meanwhile, if Harry Kane's getting a contract, maybe everyone else can too. Here's Antonio Conte, though, after Emerson Royal asks for a new extension.
What is that? You're taking the piss. Please leave.
But one man joining him at Tottenham after a shock U-turn transfer is Arnaud Danjuma, despite agreeing to sign for Everton. Honestly, being a Toffees fan in this economy is a shambles. The former Villarreal winger said on Sky that he couldn't wait to keep Everton in the Premier League, still realising that even Everton can't keep Everton in the Premier League. Here we have Everton owners on their way to his medical at Tottenham. Daniel Levy is so short with his money that he got a different club to do the medical and personal terms instead of him. Dwight McNeil is furious at the news and is sending shots to any Everton targets that don't join.
They've made the biggest mistakes of their lives.
Meanwhile, Everton aces Amadou Onana and Anthony Gordon did not report for training this week on the same day. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, Claire Balding here is getting a little bit big for her boots. Now, over in Saudi Arabia, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi faced off for one more time. As a Saudi Pro League 11 played PSG, both scored and showed each other great respect in this one, but it was Big Ron who managed to get himself a brace here. He really does perform when a Shell Oil Qatar Airways sponsored by Al Jazeera trophy is on the line. He brought out his first sue in Saudi Arabia to mark the occasion. Meanwhile, the big game's out of the way now for Cristiano Ronaldo. His boss is going to try and convince him to play in the Saudi Arabian FA Cup this weekend, and he's not going to be having it.
You can if you like, but I won't be there.
I Show Speed, though, did finally manage to see his idol score a goal live in front of him, though he had to run onto the pitch and take matters into his own hands when Lionel Messi equalised. Cristiano was videoed with UFC star Francis Ngannou this week over in Saudi Arabia. He's going to be a new animal in his next match. And over on Instagram, Cristiano showed off his bicycle kick technique in this post, and it looks absolutely majestic, except for the fact it didn't quite look like that in practice. Look, listen, like, a bicycle kick is hard. It's fine. He can still bring out all of his skill. They're back in the Premier League, and Erling Haaland scored yet another hat-trick and a 3-0 win over Wolves. He's now beaten the last 4 Golden Boot tallies, and it's still January.
It's so disrespectful to the establishment.
I don't think Erling believed Wolves defenders when they said they had him covered. 4 Wolves and Adama Traore was wearing more oil than a BP fuel stop. Throw him down the street and it's a slip and slide, mate. This guy's 10 millilitres away from being invaded by the USA. Julian Alvarez doesn't need to wear shorts, apparently, when he plays football. His teammates were shook to the core.
This is huge! This is massive!
After fallout with his former boss, and Leandro Trossard has left Brighton for Arsenal on a £27 million deal, the 28-year-old is already sparking debate for Arsenal fans. If Arsenal pay 25 mil plus for a 29-year-old striker, he's 28, by the way. He's a lot nearer 29 than he is 28, and that's a fact. He's 28. Now, that is a fact. Why am I not surprised that fractions are beyond you? The day after his birthday, he is no longer 28. He's 28 until he becomes 29. That's how it works. Meanwhile, Chelsea fans are growing ever more concerned for Enzo Fernandez's well-being, as apparently he wants to force a move out of Benfica, starting the hashtag #FreeEnzo. What, and you want him to sign for HMP Chelsea, do you? He's more of a prisoner if he moves to the Blues. There's rumours of Newcastle midfielder John Joe Shelby heading to Besiktas. He's the latest man looking for a hair transplant. We've got live scenes of a Turkish barber seeing him come through the door.
I love ambition. Absolutely fucking love it. But in this game, you've got to fucking walk before you can run.
In the EFL Cup semi-final first leg, and Newcastle faced off against Southampton, and they won 1-0 thanks to Joe Linton. It's a 9th clean sheet in a row for Nick Pope, which highlights how good Newcastle are and how much of a great signing he's been. Meanwhile, for Southampton, Anduja Chaleta-Sarr was sent off with just 4 minutes to go. Newcastle's Jacob Murphy decided to wave him goodbye as he exited the field. It's a shithousery award for the Newcastle wing-back. Aston Villa's league match against Southampton was stopped this week due to a drone. His goal is clearly back online. Don't let Shea Adams shoot anywhere near this thing. But look, listen, if you want to see good football from a bird's eye view, then Aston Villa versus Southampton is not the one. There were similar scenes at Leicester's training ground, as Brighton have been accused of spying on them over their training ground with a drone. Brighton coaches must have been very confused, expecting to see actual football, but instead seeing Jamie Vardy bottle Harvey Barnes. Peter Crouch appeared on Michael McIntyre's TV show this week and was asked to spot the difference after being woken up in the middle of the night.
And we're going to turn the lights on. Okay, spot the difference.
You got a hat.
That's the first one, that's good.
I don't think the banana and the
Okay, what was there before?
That's a good point.
it was actually a candle.
Was it a candle?
Freestanding.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
I
now.
say I'm not in charge of them.
So did you notice any other differences?
Just a matter of weeks after retiring from the game of football, and Gareth Bale has entered an AT&T Pro-Am golf tournament just 20 minutes in, and the injury-prone winger is already feeling the strain. Over at United's youth setup, and youngster Amir Ibrahimov scored the winner against Liverpool's under-16s before running over to a different pitch to help United's under-18s win against Liverpool as well. Look, I know we're bad, but beating us twice at the same time is outrageous. New Bournemouth signing Dango Utara posed with club staff after his £20 million move from Lorient. This man got this shirt straight out the packet. It's not been ironed once. In Europe, and we start with Italy, as of course the big news is Juventus's 15-point deduction. Now, I talked about this in more detail in this video here, but basically they've had these points taken away from them for false accounting and have dropped to 9th place in Serie A. This 15% sale on slippers doesn't seem well timed. Here we have Juve's accountant being asked whether he should give extra money to HMRC.
You better
pay him either.
You're not going to pay him 100.
No, he doesn't care about 100 euros. Come on.
Dejan Kulusevski's move from Juve to Spurs could be in question, but honestly, Juve or Tottenham, you're fucked either way, mate. And with news that Napoli may well be investigated as well, with other big Italian clubs using these methods too. Here we have Salernitana fans realising everybody ahead of them's about to get punished.
I'm telling you right now, we're going to win the Champions League! I'm telling you!
It's not been a great week for Milan either, as they were slapped 4-0 by Lazio. This is the AC Milan that actually turned up to the game. Davide Calabria was struggling anytime he had to do any actual kind of defending. And after this, Napoli are so far clear at the top of the table, they're basically in the 23-24 season already. Down in Serie C, and how about this for a calamitous goal in the third tier between Cesena and Famana. And in the youth leagues of Italy, in a game between Milan and Verona, the referee conducted a drop ball with Verona's goalkeeper to give him the ball back. The keeper then threw it to his defender, who placed the ball down thinking he was about to take a free kick. It was given as handball, a penalty was given, and then converted. Over in France, and Achraf Hakimi's getting bullied in a PSG rondo. Presnel Kimpembe found out he'd been dropped as the club's vice-captain via the internet like everybody else when it was announced that Kylian Mbappe was going to take on the role. They won 7-0 in the French Cup this week against the side from the 6th tier of French football. Paye de Cassel's captain, I don't know if I pronounced that right, is actually a PSG ultra himself, so he said he didn't want to injure any of Paris Saint-Germain's players. And in this one, Kylian Mbappe got himself 5 goals.
Get in there!
Well done, he's a farmer.
And speaking of goals, it's time for your goals of the week for this time. And we start off in Kuwait, where we've got an absolute screamer of a free kick being scored from distance. Speaking of long range, and take about Alessandro Diamanti over in Australia, who's picked up the ball for Western United and seen the opposition goalkeeper miles off his line. And finally, if at first you don't succeed, check this out from Cristiano Girelli, who tried a bicycle kick for Juventus against Chievo Verona. It didn't work out. She was on the floor and then decided to try it again.
Ancora Girelli! Gol bellissimo di Cristiana Girelli da terra!
Now, over in Spain, and Carlo Ancelotti was not happy with his Real Madrid winger, Rodrigo, after the Brazilian refused to shake his hand coming off the pitch. I tell you what, he can look very scary when he's angry, or confused, or puzzled. I don't really know what the eyebrow thing is. He was a lot more accommodating to a fan in the crowd who asked him for some chewing gum. Over at Barcelona Femení, and they won the Supercopa de España against Real Sociedad 3-0. But after the Spanish FA didn't actually arrange a medal ceremony for them, they had to go and grab the medals themselves. Imagine winning a trophy and your award is a pick and mix. Carlos Puel's going to be devastated seeing him with actual women. Now, the Bundesliga is finally back after its long winter break, and I can't lie, it's on copious amounts of ketamine.
Fucking spice!
Borussia Dortmund won 4-3, Köln won 7-1. Try asking any Bundesliga player what defending is. They can't tell you.
I don't know what that means.
Schalke put the 0-4 into their own name. Bayern Munich's child mascot was trying to install some confidence and some motivation into their players before they embarked on their league match this week. Meanwhile, Union Berlin have signed right back Josip Juranovic from Celtic and tweeted in reply to Celtic saying that they would look after their Croatian fan favourite. One Scottish fan replied in typical style saying Celtic weren't gonna shag them. Union Berlin replied saying it was worth a try. Meanwhile, a women's match over in Portugal made history this week, as after a player went down due to illness in a game involving Benfica, both sets of physio teams and fitness teams came onto the pitch in order to assist her. Now, in an action that is supposed to try and promote fair play within the game, the world's first white card as a way to reward clubs was dished out here. And over in Scotland, shout out to Darvel of the 6th tier, who beat Premiership side Aberdeen in arguably the biggest Scottish FA Cup upset there's ever been.
It's all over! What a victory! What a night! And what a result!
Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Agora sim, autorizado. William Lepo. Toda a concentração. Corridinha. William Lepo pé direito, ficou na barriga.
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Hang on a second, if we look a little bit closer there, is that Anton over in Brazil? And even injuries are fun in their version of the game, as we've got a physio deciding to become an aeroplane as he comes over to treat somebody. Sparta Prague played Nuremberg, I believe, in a friendly this week. Their fans decided to have a snowball fight with each other. Ajax B and Donny Warmenden has had an absolute howler trying to nod this one back to his goalkeeper. We continue with the theme of terrible football inability, as over in the US, Inter Miami's goalkeeper, he ain't watching this one back anytime soon. Imagine you're through on goal, you're being chased down by a camel. Yeah, nah, look, the Middle East is just, it's different gravy, boys. Now, I don't know if you guys remember in previous FTWs, we've had some very interesting corner set piece routines where players have decided to play Ring a Roses to try and, I don't know, throw off marking. I mean, this time around, they've both got involved. I don't know what this achieves, to be honest with you, but...
Mas a bandeira tá dando impedimento. A bandeira tá dando impedimento.
Oh, yeah. Tell him again. Oh, yeah, I'm the best footballer there is. Hey, Jonathan, it was offside, fam. Now, we love a nutmeg on this show. How about 2 for the price of 1? Staying in Brazil at Sao Paulo. Now, Moldova is host to a side by the name Real Success, or Real. Turns out their success may not be real, because they're bottom of the division that they're playing in. Closer to home, and after thick fog descended on their stadium, Ipswich fans are struggling to see the action.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Portsmouth announced their new manager. It's John Muzinho. Who? I can't lie, this guy might look a little bit familiar. Jose's going to be devastated when he has to say goodbye to Tammy Abraham for these League One shitters. Meanwhile, the Portuguese boss can be seen using his disguise in England here.
Brett Clement.
Yep.
You know this is an Australian driving licence?
Yep.
So you're Australian?
That's right, mate.
So when's your birthday?
15th of bloody May 1989.
Now there is time for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, I can't lie to you boys, it's been a little while since we had this beautiful nation featuring FTW. A man called Valentin Lazar, who plays for CS Paulești, was not happy with his former boss at Dinamo Bucharest, as when he walked out onto the pitch for a friendly, he decided to throw a pair of women's pants at the bench at his former boss to indicate that he's not a real man. Okay, look, we need to have an intervention. What actually is going on in this country? Over at Red Bull Bragantino, we've got more poppadom hands from goalkeepers here. Inverness Caledonian Thistle are going to be doing a pitch inspection for their ground for an upcoming game. Who's doing the pitch inspection? Fucking Santa Claus. Over in Poland now, and... I don't know where this clip is coming from, but we've got a sensational celebration here that I would like to see added to FIFA with immediate effect. I look over there, big man. Can you see that? Hey, what in the... Did someone just hit? Is that Miss Croatia in the crowd? Bro, look again. Up at Beath Juniors, and there's some scuffles going on there, where a game has been abandoned with a score at 3-1 in injury time, with both managers getting sent off, and on the way to the clubhouse, they've started fighting again. In Brazil here, and we've got a sensational no-step penalty being taken. At Finn Harps, and a whole host of substitutions have been made, but it's far too cold to be typing them all out, so the admin hasn't bothered. And here we have the greatest kit of the season, no questions asked. Now that it's time for Still 0-0 and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And this time, we're in the world of, I'm assuming, five-a-side, where the football ability is so red hot that there's quite literally a fire going on in the background. Someone should probably, get me, call 999. On to the weird stuff though now. Over in Mexico and in the 3rd division, Leviathan FC had their kit stolen before a game this week. So how were they going to get around this? They haven't got any kits to play their league fixture in. Well, they decided to improvise and buy a set of bootleg 2021 Inter Milan away shirts, wear a load of them, and cover the sponsor with some white tape. In Lyon's French Cup match against Chambéry, the French minnows brought on a former Algerian international by the name of Nassim Akrour in the 63rd minute. The difference here is he's a bit of a veteran. He's 48 years old. Any more than half an hour on the pitch and the arthritis will be setting in. I told you the story of the Marshall Islands recently, the last country in the world without a national football team. Well, they've been looking for players and coaches to get involved who are eligible to play for them, and now they've even started building a stadium over there too. And I can't lie, the views it's gonna have will be sensational. And finally, how about this for a story? Rachel Ayegba, who was the Nigerian goalkeeper at the 2007 Women's World Cup, has now become a London bus driver. Yep, she's even pictured here with Ronaldinho and was a star in the world of African women's football. Well, after retirement, she's living over here. I'm guessing this must have been a passion of hers, as she's proper gassed to be doing it, and has traded the world of red cards for the world of red buses. But just keep an eye out. Next time you tap in your Oyster card in Islington, it might well be Rachel that's driving you about. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.